We zijn bezig met de pilot van de Metropole Academy. Dat is een talentontwikkelingsprogramma voor muziekstudenten uit heel Nederland. We zijn heel blij met onze 50 studenten die 3 dagen lang het Metropoolorkest volgen. En we gaan ook door met veel meer projecten voor de Metropole Academy. Het houdt in dat deze studenten gecoacht worden door de muzici en meet and greet met de solist, meet and greet met de chefdirigent. En het is volop inspiratie hier. En we merken aan 2 kanten dat het een goede wisselwerking is tussen de muzici en de studenten.
Conductor's work is more when you get the piece day one. You know, no one's played the chart, no one knows what the hell it's about. I mean, a lot of this music is in 4 or 3, or it's not particularly rhythmically complex. So in the first days, then that's where you get really involved in shaping, talking to them about how you want it played, showing them how you want it played. But when it gets to the point down the line where it's all been rehearsed, then you can just kind of you can enjoy and you can show a few small things, but you want to make sure that you give them as much space as possible. Maybe orchestras don't need conductors as much as you think in the concert, but in the rehearsal period, they do.
But nowadays there are, well, more and more multidisciplinary concepts where the director will ask so much more of you as a musician to than just play as good as you can on your instrument. And that will be about being on stage, walking on stage, moving on stage, maybe even giving text on stage. That means that you're constantly, for the audience, you're in relation, actually in dialogue with all the other expressive tools on stage.
Hallo, ik ben Lianne van Westen. Ik studeer in Groningen. Ik ben 20 jaar en ik studeer klassiek viool daar. Ik verwacht van deze workshop om me eigenlijk wat meer buiten mijn klassieke wereld wat meer te verbreden. Want ik ben nu heel erg klassiek geschoold, maar ik zou het heel leuk vinden om ook wat andere dingen te leren, zoals jazz, pop, filmmuziek. En ik verwacht dat ik hier wel wat meer daarvan zou kunnen leren van deze workshops en de open repetities.
But there is an extra step, which is the engineer, that makes actually the balance. The thing is, if you play your instrument, color and level are more or less connected. If you play a trumpet and you play louder, it's more bright, but it's also louder. So it's quite difficult to play loud, but really dark. So it's connected.
See, because there's a heavy premium when you're coming up and you think, well, I want to find my sound, right? I want to be my own person and I want to sound like nobody else. Well, ultimately, that's true, but in order for the self who you want to be as rich and full and articulate and creative and gorgeous as you can possibly be, you want to invest yourself with the history of everybody who was great before you. Think of the way painters go. They learn from the masters how to paint, and they go to the Louvre and they stand there and they try to duplicate a painting and they try to get so that they understand how that's put together. And the same thing for us. You want, like, well, man, I love Dexter Gordon. Well, okay, if you love something, don't you want to understand how that thing worked? I mean, how? Well, that stuff sounds so killing, right? And you want to just get in there and you want to have that. Well, of course I want to sound like that as much as I can. I'll never be Dexter Gordon. I'll never be Mark Murphy. I'll be myself. But I want to have all those elements in there.
So I'm going to tell you something about the economics of an orchestra, and I could not think of any better example than to take our own orchestra, the Metropole Orchestra, and to tell you something about the transition that we went through and the impact it had on our economy, because it says something on how you could lead such an ensemble financially.
We konden ook de talentontwikkeling meteen in de praktijk brengen. We hebben meteen een student in het orkest gezet omdat iemand plotseling ziek werd.